morning, guys. Today we'll be going over the parts of a hand bender. So as you know, we are in Unit 1, Day 2 hand bender, identifying the parts. So as you see here, I wrote on the board. On one side, it's a degree of the bender. On the opposite side, there's the multiplier. And then up top, I gave you like a little format that I came up with my own, which means height times multiplier gives you the distance between bends. And once you understand what the multipliers are, and then you understand how an offset lab works. So, if everybody had a hand bender in their hand, right? If you look at these benders, you have certain marks on them. So right here, the first mark I identify is the triangle, okay? Because that's where you put your marks up at when you go a complete circle around the pipe, okay? If you turn the pipe around, it lines perpendicular up at this line here, okay? The second mark I'll go with, which should be the star mark, which is this one, up top. Use this one on your 3-point saddles and your direct bends, okay? The next ones I'll go over it. If I turn the pipe in to this side, you have a 10 degree, okay? So a 10 degree goes with a 6.0 multiplier, okay? So I'll explain what that is in a second after I go over all the degrees. The next degree you have, so you look on one side, it has 10 degrees. If you look on the other side of the pipe bender, it has the multiplier with it. Okay, so vice versa. Now you go to the 22 degree. The multiplier for a 22 degree will be 2.6, as in it's here. Okay, then the next degree you have is a 30 degree. Okay, once you turn the pipe bender around, the multiplier for a 30 degree will be 2. You go back to it, now you have your 45 degree. Once you turn it on the opposite side, you have your multiplier, which is 1.41. Okay, which is here. And vice versa, then you have your 60 degree. Once you turn it around, and then you have your multiplier, which is 1.1. Now, if you all notice, one thing that you guys get to see is a 90 degree. The reason being you didn't see a 90 degree on here because you don't have a multiplier for a 90 degree bend. It's called a take-up, okay? It's called a take-up. And now we all know, just my students should know, a take-up on pipe depending on what size pipe. So I'll just give you the numbers for those. On a 1/2 inch EMT, your take-up will be 5. Okay, that means that's how much height the pipe will gain because of the size of the pipe. Okay, 3/4, your take-up will be 6. 1 inch, your take-up will be 8. And 1 1/4 inch, your take-up will be 11. The reason being that I did not go higher than 1 1/4 inch is because that's the biggest pipe that you can bend with a hand bender. Anything above 1 1/4 inch have to be charted on a hydraulic bender, okay? So now that I identified the parts of the pipe bender, I'll give you a demonstration on how they're used. So for instance, if we want to use this hand bender and do us a 30 degree offset, I'm gonna do the math on the board first. That's a 30 degree offset. Okay, so the height of my brick, I'm just gonna give it 8 inches. Okay, so that would be my height. There, okay? So since I'm doing a 30 degree offset, I'm gonna use the multiplier of 2. 8 times 2 gives me 16. That's the distance between bends, okay? So that's the bend mark right there. So on the 16 mark, I would do a 30 degree bend. All right, now the next number I have to figure out is, what is the distance I'm trying to get to? Okay, so I'm gonna give that number, just say 10. So it's 10 inches to my forest box. It's 10. Okay, so now I have both of my bend marks. So hypothetically speaking, this here is our piece of EMT. Right here. That's our EMT. First mark I'm trying to get to is 10 inches. 10 inches at 30 degree. Okay. My second mark is 16 because that's the multiplier for 30 degree times the height. So from this mark, I come back 16 inches and another 30 degree. And now my pipe will be like this. And that's how you use the multipliers on doing your offsets. And now in the next video, guys, I'll be demonstrating exactly how to use that and just show you guys what it looks like in front of you.